届けに行こう燃える心今こそ Whoa, right on time 心に火をつけて飛び立つ魂に置くよ right on time Shit, I need to get that. I don't have anything that though.
If you see me perched up like in a weird ass way, don't mind me.
Yeah, no, I won't. Yeah, I know. It can get real cramped over there sometimes. But without further ado,
Are we live?
yeah, we are live. So, welcome back to the Media Minute with the Mateos.
I like the Mateo's Media Minute.
Mateo's Media Minute, yeah.
Podcast. I love it.
Yeah, we think that's where we're going to settle on in terms of the name at least. So, we're hoping that it sticks. But if you see the Spotify description change anytime, don't be surprised.
I still am for Team Mateos. The Mateos it's like a band.
Yeah, that's what I think. I like the Mateos too. Media Minute by the Mateos, like an author,
Oh,
you know?
yeah. It's a sub thing. Doesn't mean that we have talents that surpass just podcasting. We can do other things.
Yeah,
As a
that's what I
Mateos.
think, Illy.
It's like a duo.
Yeah.
Our own clips.
Or our own clips.
Except we're just a guy with the same name.
I think that, yeah, the Mateos, you know, it just sticks. Nobody really ever thinks about Mateo in terms of the naming scheme of how it works with two people because you don't really come across a lot of Mateos.
Honestly, yeah. It's just recently now where I've started to see more of them pop up in like media to like substitute another like Mexican name, which I love. It's cool to see people who are named after me.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is. That's what it's
Yeah, everyone is named after me. They took inspiration from my life, my autobiography that I'm currently writing.
Come on. Don't act like when somebody like has the same name as you in a movie, you're like, that's something I would do as well. I don't know.
I was actually named after a character from a TV show.
Really? Which one?
There was this character in this show. I think it was a soap opera. If I could find it later, I think I know what it's called. Hold on. I think the soap opera is called, it's like one of those like daytime talk, like TV soap operas where it's like, you know, the shitty panning angles,
the transitions are always so bad.
Yeah, the very frank like acting and stuff like that. There's nothing really like drastically crazy about it.
Hey, but when it hits, it hits.
It does. Like it's always immediately after the news ends. Like
yes,
you always hear them start.
Like those old classics they used to play.
Yeah,
in like Univision.
If we're going on like the fucking like Spanish television, we're thinking of like La Rosa de Guadalupe.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, that one's like the one that I always remember growing up on, but it actually wasn't the one.
That was our dare.
Yeah, there's like this character who's named Mateo in this show, and I'm trying to remember Mateo soap opera. I'm looking it up on my phone. Mateo Santos. That's one, but I don't think this is it.
That rings though.
Oh, Kelly Ripa and Mike he was played by Mike Consuelos.
Mike Consuelos.
Hold on. Oh my god, what show did he put on? What was he on? Fuck. Was it All My Children? No, it couldn't have been.
This is what I love. Like some people get really caught up in the moment of like trying to find something, and you're like, "Fuck, no, it's not here. It's not here." I love this.
He was like this
I'm just waiting.
He was like this guy that was named fucking Mateo, and he was like the fresh new boyfriend of Kelly Ripa.
Whoa.
And I think he dies. I think he dies in the show. But it's like some sort of big deal that he's like, oh yeah, this guy's definitely for sure the guy. It's like the fucking... Where's the story? I don't know what happens, man, but I just remember that there was this character that my mom saw in another soap opera called Joaquin.
Mm-hmm.
And so she waited out between Joaquin and Mateo. And she gave it up to my grandma to ended up choosing my name to be Mateo.
I like it.
And I think that was probably the best decision because I could never imagine myself being named Joaquin. You don't come across a lot of Joaquins at all. Like I don't think I've ever seen a Joaquin in my life. Maybe
it's
I've
like
seen
the one that sounds a little bit like too. I don't know. Is it weird to say like a try hard name?
Yeah, it always feels like
Joaquin. It's like, okay.
there was a Joaquin. Isn't Joaquin the character in that what is it? The Jorge R. Gutierrez movie, The Book of Life?
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
he's the rival character, right? The Gary Oak of fucking the main character.
I want to say yes, man. It's been years since I saw that movie. Coco really just took it. It really swept it under the rug when it came to people remembering The Book of Life. It's a very beautiful movie.
Yeah, The Book of Life, I think, trumps Coco by a large margin. I think Coco is very good for its interpersonal connection with family and stuff like that. But The Book of Life just celebrated the idea of Dia de los Muertos to a larger and more I feel authentic extent.
That's a good point because it was thematically designed to be like that. I mean, of course, in the afterlife in Coco, you have the design aspect of the skulls and how it looks. But I think, in the Book of Life, even just from their design, they look like puppets. I'm looking at your wooden hand right now, and it's giving off that same vibe of very, it's a story being told.
Yeah, so that's what I like about it. Rather than it being oh, it's fantastical. It's this character gets transported into a world unlike they've ever seen. It's more grounded in reality because it's literally just a story being told by a lecturer.
Yeah. And
the story is fantastical because it is a tall tale. It's not this kid picks up a magical guitar and becomes a super a skeleton.
Yeah. The music was a big tether to Coco as opposed to Book of Life, which is, if I'm correct, a Matador's bullfighting.
It's about Matador. It's about Matador and familial. It still has that familial tie with you're connected via your family with
your memory and all that.
Yeah, with the things that you do and how you celebrate their memory in life by continuing their traditions.
Yeah.
But Coco does it in a way where it's you subvert your family's
You're going
expectations.
against the grain.
Yeah, you're going against the grain. Whereas Book of Life was a lot more hey, it's okay to kind of celebrate tradition and stuff like that without going against the grain. You could still give honor to your family and do the things that you love on the side. He was also a mariachi. That was another thing too. He was also a mariachi, and he roamed around with a traveling band. Because I remember that I think it was Gabriel Iglesias and fucking George Lopez was one of the characters.
That's actually kind of cool though.
Yeah, I think they were both a part of the mariachi, and that's another thing too that I really like about
Book of Life is
that they do use a lot of the general public knows of Mexican stars.
Yeah.
Or general Latin stars. But I feel it's a lot more to where I like it that it's actually characters that I recognize. Because the Book of Life versus Coco, at least the no names of Coco were cool that they picked them out. The main kid I watched the behind the scenes of the story was he was literally just a mariachi from a high school.
Yeah.
And he got auditioned for the role. And I like that, but you hear nothing about the other people voice acted in that movie.
That's a good point.
Yeah, besides that kid.
Bringing in more notable Mexican actors and stars to really, hammer home the idea that there should be more diversity. Because I think both of them landed in their own way, but it's that same thing of I think comparing a Disney movie with a Pixar movie. Yeah. It's you love them for both for different reasons, but they both thematically hit the same way.
You prop up I feel there is that case where you prop up people with who you bring on.
Yeah.
If you have no names, you got to balance it out with a lot of very, very big names in order for it.
Yeah, the script has to be good because the star who's voicing said character can't. How sometimes it feels like that, where it feels like you spent the budget on the actors instead of actually focusing on the story. I think it's kind of like that. I think that's if you're gonna falter, if you're not gonna have one, then the other one has to be good.
Yeah, it's it's like Transformers. Negatives. Transformers Michael Bay versus fucking Transformers 1. Transformers 1 had fucking what's his name?
Chris Hemsworth. Yeah. And I want to say he plays Paperboy in Atlanta.
Yeah.
He's really good. Damn, I should really know his name. Now we're gonna have to look again. We're gonna have to pull up Google and all that. But
pull that up real quick. But you know what I mean, right? You got you buy the mall. you buy Mark Wahlberg and you buy the Megan Foxes of like that specific movie for like the Michael Bay movies, but like
Shout out Shia LaBeouf.
yeah, shout out Shia LaBeouf. You buy the Mark Wahlbergs, the Megan Foxes, and the Shia LaBeoufs, and you know, for the Shia LaBeouf era of Transformers, it did kind of feel like they were propping him up with those movies with Megan Fox as well, because she was already a big name by that time.
I think both of them were actually.
Yeah.
Because before that, man, we're going on the tangents are amazing.
Yeah,
this is gonna
we're
be
diving down. This is like the digging for fucking gold resources, and we're just gonna swim to another topic.
Oh yeah, definitely gonna be movie heavy. I recently watched a movie that I was waiting for this podcast to talk about. I'm very excited. Just saw it like a couple hours ago.
Yeah, legitimately just got out of the movie theater. Tomorrow I'm gonna be going to see Superman, so I can't wait to talk about that.
I know you, man. Okay, I will want to ask, like, with everyone's perception on it, the perspectives on like the intent and what people are getting out of it. What are your opinions coming into that? Because you haven't watched it yet. I watched it, I think maybe a day or two after it released, so I was more in my excitement mindset where I'm just a fanboy for comic book movies, especially when it comes to a new fresh take, also because I'm a James Gunn fan. And then when I see what people are saying about it on Twitter and all that, it's like, I think people who are just, wanting to watch something in the theater, it could deter them from wanting to really, like, they're letting other people take away the enjoyment of a movie about a guy who flies. Like, are you excited to see it? Do you let the opinions of what people are saying kind of not change your mindset, but give you like a certain context to walk into?
Well, this is coming from a guy who did not fucking like Man of Steel.
I know, dude, and that's kind of like, I can see why, like, in retrospect as an adult, but like being like 2013, we were what, 8 years old?
Yeah, dude, but like, yeah, at the same time, like I don't understand what superhero movies were supposed to target back then, because I mean, now
are you talking about the DC
at least
universe?
for the DC Comics universe, it definitely felt like they were targeting adults, but at the same time, it's like fucking Superman, dude. Like, everyone is gonna want to see Superman.
Yeah.
Like, you have to, like, these, I don't understand why the people who are arguing that, like, Gunn's take is like a watered down version of Superman to his core basic things is like a bad thing when you compare it to Man of Steel, and it kind of disregarded a lot of what made him like,
yeah, you never really saw him save people unless
very fantastical, you know what I mean? Like, the idea of Superman not saving people is, of course, like a very subversive idea for the like time, but I think like for the general public to want to gravitate towards seeing a DC movie about like the guy who made comics the biggest thing in the world, fucking, you gotta have a little bit of whimsy and a little bit of joy in your heart to understand, like, this is bigger than your subversive take, you know what I mean?
I see where you're coming from.
Like, Iron Man was gritty. The first Iron Man is a fucking gritty movie for some, like, not for some reason, but on purpose.
Yes, because of the conditions that Marvel was in, they sold off a lot of their popular characters. Iron Man at that time was like a B, maybe a high C, low B character at that time. A lot of people were really saying that was their favorite character, unless you were like a real big comic book fan.
Yeah.
Like, on average, it's, the people can say they're top 3, but I say that to say that made sense given their bet on it. They were betting on Iron Man and RDJ to really to uphold this thing that they were building, which took a lot of time and a lot of groundwork, which, going back to like Zach's perception of that, was like, no, I'm not gonna blame it on him, but like the conditions in which he had to like establish these characters at such a quick rate to keep up with an already established universe. I could imagine anyone would have a difficult time to really find the right time to integrate these characters. I had this conversation actually at the theater with my I call him like a big brother, but he's like a older friend. We were I think getting something to eat, and I was pretty much telling him like what I've been watching recently, and I mentioned Superman, and we kind of went on kind of the same tangent, but something that really occurred to me having this discussion is you really start to see the separation between Superman fans. Not even that, but like, I think surface level movie DC fans, which is like, I'll give you the context. One of my favorite movie reviewers is Jeremy Johns. I don't know if you know.
Dude, I haven't been on the movie like sphere.
It's something niche. Like, you know, I mean, if you're not somebody who really loves movies and looks at reviews, you're not gonna be like, yeah, dude, this is my favorite reviewer.
Like I used to be. I used to watch Ralph the Movie Maker. I used to watch very cynical reviews, and I think that's kind of what turned me off from watching reviews, is just like the very cynicality of it is like, it can be like very much like deterring from watching a movie that you maybe not like, you may not like or may enjoy later, but like it's just what gains the most views, and definitely for sure, or a hot take or something like that. But like, you know, dunking on something because it's bad is funny, but like dunking on something that's good with like a very non-nuanced take about it of why it's bad is very, very difficult to land.
Right.
But you know, I was like fucking 13, 14 when I was watching those people, so
yeah, now with
that cynicality was growing on me. And then eventually I grew up and I was just kind of like, yeah, man, I'm just kind of good. I want to watch movies again.
You trust your own opinion.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's a great thing to have as a person, to not let like somebody's perspective or opinion on something decide if you want to watch something. Like with him and growing up watching his reviews, more or less, it was just a means of like, I think when you're in a position where you can't watch movies often, you know, whether it is like financial situations or just having a big family and it's expensive to take the kids to the movies, it was my way of being able to like tune into the things that I love. I love movies. Well, what sucks is when you love movies but you don't have the privilege to see them avidly. Yeah, I would love to see every new movie when I was a kid. But
for real.
He had his review out on Superman, and he wasn't the biggest fan. And he mentioned his takes, and he discussed what he liked and what he didn't like, and how some of the character portrayals on certain aspects, such as like, he mentioned something that made me think about like people's perspective on Superman, which was like, oh, the way and I won't spoil it for you, but he pretty much boils it down to like, he doesn't seem like somebody who commands authority.
Yeah, that is something like I've heard a lot.
Behind the ears, still fresh to the job.
Yeah, and I feel like that's a good way of establishing the character.
Yeah.
But I definitely believe that is a notion of where like he doesn't seem like
he's following the status quo of what people think Superman is.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like what Superman is. He seems like what Superman started as, because of course, I mean, it makes sense that Superman is Superman because of the fact that he was like abandoned by his homeworld, and like it probably does definitely explore into the nuanced like ideas of
wanting to fit in, wanting
to be someone you're not, and then like having the whole world watch you at the same time, you know?
Yes.
Like
it's very character heavy on the human aspect. So like what pretty much like what I'm trying to get to the point of is, certain people like the DCU for the God aspect of it, the mythology, Wonder Woman, Superman, even, you know, the Dark Knight, Batman's mythos in the movies were always viewed as like, you know, he's a creature of the night, damn near. Remember that scene? I love that scene where like the officer's looking around the building and then he sees Batman perched up on the corner.
Oh yeah.
That's horrifying. Mm-hmm. But you know what I mean? It was this intention to give this more than life, larger than life. Thank you.
Yeah.
Character. Even with Justice League, the Zack Snyder cut, it felt like a God story. It felt like you're watching a new age retelling of the Greek gods.
Yeah, like any story from like historical period. Like it definitely did feel like
he hammered home the idea like these are problems that are outside our perception.
Snyder was really trying to make like what I think that Snyder was trying to make, because people always say like, oh, he was trying to make an Injustice, he was trying to do Injustice storylines and stuff like that, New 52 and stuff, and I'm like, it does make sense, but honestly, if we look at it on its own and not as its own, not like as its
comparison
own
to what it's trying
to be, yeah, it's like an operatic.
Yes,
that movie is the movie Zack Snyder's Justice League is very, very like,
it's a drama,
operatic in tone. It's like a,
people say dark, but when they really mean dramatic drama, it's selling on the emotional, and not in the way that James Gunn is doing it, but emotional, in which conflict seems severe. Like, second movie, Superman died. You know what I mean? We went from, and what a lot of people would imagine is like Iron Man 2008 to fucking Endgame. It's like, whoa. Like, it felt larger than life. It felt like these moments were like, okay.
Like, definitely, for sure. Like, I think that people took the weight of Marvel and unfairly compared it to DC.
Which is going to happen.
For a lot of the stuff, and it definitely did take a toll on the story writing and stuff like that.
Yep.
I think that Snyder was trying to create an operatic.
Mm-hmm.
Gunn is trying to create a comic.
Thank you.
And Gunn is doing a very, very good job at establishing what a comic is. Just basically going off of what he did for Suicide Squad and for Peacemaker.
You know what I like?
Both of those series are, in general... I still have yet to watch Creature Commandos. I actually really need to watch Creature Commandos.
Yeah, you can, it's not really part of like a James Gunn. He produced it, but he didn't, direct it. So,
it is like definitely like...
Oh yeah, for sure. Watch
something
it out of the
that he would greenlight,
James Gunn is somebody who I think, like, funny story. Well, I mean, like a little side thing. This is funny, but James Gunn in an interview said that this is his first time making a superhero movie. He categorized all of his other movies as like Suicide Squad is villains, Guardians of the Galaxy are space bandits, anti-heroes and as such. And then he was saying about like how, this is his first comic book movie, and it made me think about like, wow, he's somebody who can take the character elements of what makes a comic book in a comic, like he can take the character elements of like, I don't know how to explain it, but like you're doing it unconsciously.
He can just basically like
Rocket's story matches so well with the character like him, and it carries through the first, like all three of the movies, right? Mm-hmm. That was his intention, but it never felt like Rocket was the sole focus. You had a bit of everyone in the storyline.
Yeah, like the thing about like people always complain like James Gunn always makes movies about multiple people and never just one character. And he definitely subverted people's expectations with this new movie. But, I don't understand why people complained about that aspect because, if you have a movie, let alone a trilogy that focuses on multiple people at the same time to still manage to craft a cohesive story, like let alone
that's impressive.
It's impressive
people
that
have trouble
he let
doing
alone
that with just
kept
single
this,
characters.
Yeah, like it's impressive that he let alone kept this within something like the Marvel Cinematic Universe and under especially fucking like Mussolini Feige's thumb, bro. Like, bro just like seems to like smudge away any sort of like interpersonal character development between movies just because of the fact that they're like not gonna apply in the next movie where they're involved in,
Interesting. So what I'm getting, because I think I feel the same way when it comes to an artist's creative direction, which is when I watch a Guardians of the Galaxy movie and or Suicide Squad movie, I'm not watching a DC or a Marvel movie, I'm watching a James Gunn movie.
Yeah.
Which is great, dude. You know what? The reason why I have like a big, like I'm a fanboy of his work is when I was a kid, we didn't have cable. Mm-hmm. But my mother had this like wicked DVD collection, right? And you had your usual movies. My parents, I'm not even gonna say, like they had great taste. Like my mother and my dad and we grew up on some real great movies from a lot of like amazing directors that I at the time didn't know about. But like when you're a kid, you go off of who you know on the movie. Yeah. But there was this movie that I watched called Slither. 2009, maybe 2010. I forgot what year it came out exactly, but it was in the late 2000s or heading into the 2010s.
Yeah.
It's directed by James Gunn, and it is one of the most creative and grotesque movies that I've ever seen. It's pretty much this alien story with it's a lot of the same actors that we see in James Gunn films. I forget the one that plays Yondu. You know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah, well, I know who you're talking about, but I don't know the name. I don't know him by name.
Well, I mean, I could imagine anybody can kind of trace back if you really care about the actor, then you can be like, who plays Yondu?
Editor, put up,
Jamie, put up the actor.
Jamie, put up the actor over voice in text-to-speech.
So
Thank you.
but it has Nathan Fillion. Nathan Fillion was probably the most like memorable one that I can recall. But it's an alien movie where this alien parasite drops onto Earth, and Yondu, I'll say for the sake, is having an affair with his wife. And
Holy
by the
shit.
way, I forget the actress who's the wife, but she is gorgeous, man. Beautiful blonde hair. Man, I really need to remember her name.
You just need to just pull up the cast list at this point.
I'm gonna pull up the IMDb. So what happens is he finds this parasite walking with the side chick, and the thing opens up. It's like a sack. It opens up, and then a small needle shoots out into his chest, and then it just infests him. And what it causes him to do is turn to like this like amalgamation. Like he starts to have like tentacles, and he's really like, it's like a Cronenberg.
Dude, you have a lot of like niche references, but like they're like niche to a degree where it's like, I'm sure these are very surface level, but I'm just like, damn, dude, I need to open up a thesaurus or a dictionary for these things.
Well, like a Cronenbergian film, pretty much just it's practical body horror.
Oh, yeah, I love that. John Carpenter is what comes to mind for that.
That's a good one too. The Thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great movie.
The Thing was one of the first movies where
this movie that I just recently watched is definitely gives off The Thing vibes.
Okay.
Elizabeth Banks.
Oh
my god, dude! Being a kid, I had the biggest crush on her. But so Michael Rooker is Yondu.
Mm-hmm.
He gets infected, and Elizabeth Banks is his wife, and she starts to see this whole progression in his condition. And Nathan Fillion plays like this, I think, sheriff. So what happens is he is taking these women, and what he's doing is like, this is so disgusting. He opens up his shirt, and then these tentacle spikes come out, and then they plunge into the female's abdomen and pumps them in with like eggs.
Bro, that's freak nasty. I want to get in on that shit.
And then what he does to feed them is he just gets them raw red meat, eats them, and then Nathan Fillion's character walks into this shed in which this woman, which I think was the one that he had the affair with, like the side chick in the beginning. I think she's the one that gets impregnated by these like alien larvae.
Oh my!
They find her in a shed, dude. I'm talking about I don't even know how to describe it. Do you remember that scene in Willy Wonka where the girl who chews gum eats that blueberry and she just gets really fat and round?
Yeah.
That. So
like that.
It's just a head and then body, like a fucking sphere of body.
Oh my god.
So she's saying, she's like, oh my god. But pretty much she starts to move and her body starts to rip, pops open, and then these little slithers start like
Slithers title drop.
start slithering away. Yeah. So how they get into you is they go into your mouth and they pretty much take you over as a host, which then all of them collectively go to the main host, Michael Rooker's character, and then they become this like amalgamation of like different people. And it's, dude, it as a kid fucked me up, but I also now hold it with such high respect for like the effects, but also just like paying homage to Cronenberg and these people who really oh my god, how did I forget the name that you just mentioned?
Carpenter,
John Carpenter. Jesus, yes, like these pioneers in the craft of special effects. It's a great movie, and that's the thing. Like, it's a great movie. James Gunn can make a body horror movie about alien slither larvae that crawl into your mouth and still make it about like loving somebody and seeing that person that you love morph into something otherworldly.
Yeah,
and like horrifying.
Because I'm sure that movie was definitely like...
That movie made... I hope it made noise at that time. I honestly don't know. But being a kid and seeing that and not knowing that was James Gunn, all these years later, finding it out and just being like, wow.
That's honestly crazy. I would assume James Gunn for him to direct like horror movies. Because he's very good at establishing...
Brightburn. Yeah.
Yeah, he's very good at establishing like a scene, a visual for like... that works really well in horror. But that fucking movie sounds horrific. Like, that's something that I need to check out for sure.
If you want to pull it up right now on the webs, I don't even know would it cancel out the recording?
No, it wouldn't. But it's like a fucking crazy movie.
Dude, and then the other one that I wanted to tell you about, going back to like the whole comic book thing, was this movie called Super. Came out in 2011. I think it has Rainn Wilson, Dwight from The Office.
Yeah.
He's this guy. He loses his girl to this douchebag drug dealer. So he's in this like moment of desperation. He's making a prayer to God, and then I think he has a hallucination that makes him want to be a superhero.
Oh.
And it is pretty much a movie about this guy dressed in like this shitty red costume called the Crimson Bolt, calls himself the Crimson Bolt, and just beats criminals with a wrench.
Why do I feel like I know that's...
Oh yeah,
I
you've
feel
probably
like that's
seen
very
it.
familiar to me for some reason. That sounds like...
It stars who else? It stars Kevin Bacon, and what is his name? Oh my God! Hold on, let me. Oh yeah, you have it pulled up right now.
Yeah, I just pulled it up on the similarity to Kick-Ass. Yeah, that's definitely... I was about to mention Kick-Ass. It's already on the Wikipedia page under a section.
Like, this is gritty. When people say a dark comic book movie, this is gritty. This is a guy who's probably not mentally well, dealing with it by beating the shit out of people. But there's a great monologue at the end about how, you don't sell drugs, you don't molest kids. Those rules were established a long time ago. Oh, it stars he plays Juno.
Elliot Page.
Yes, Elliot Page.
Yeah.
His character was great because he was the tether to Rainn Wilson's character deciding to be a superhero.
Yeah.
And but I'm not gonna tell you what happens to his character, but dude, that was the one thing in this movie I'm like, oh, okay, shit just got real.
I definitely should watch this movie because I actually do really love Kick-Ass. The Kick-Ass franchise,
Did you grow up on it?
A little bit butchered. I've read the comics, I've read them, I've watched both the movies, and I feel like both of those movies are outstanding for just their style and also their humor in comedy. But it's less. I definitely would have wanted to see a little bit more seriousness in the movies, at least. Because they're much more comedic than I would assume this movie is. I'm sure there's a lot of shit that gets real.
I think the comedy comes from the fact that like it's this guy. It's very not satirical. What's the term? Like,
it's like The Mask. It's like Jim Carrey's The Mask.
No, because Jim Carrey's The Mask embraces the slapstick humor of The Mask's power. It's
like The Mask comic books then. Because those comic books are way more darker than the actual movie provides them.
I think Kick-Ass actually is probably the best comparison of somebody who is idealizing this persona, and then he's dealing with actual criminals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think in his mind, his catchphrase is "shut up, crime."
Yeah, I see that in the poster.
But this is the funniest thing, right? So there's this scene where this guy is cutting a line, and then you just see this fucking guy in this red suit just come up behind him and thwack him on the top of the head with a wrench, and then you just see the guy's head get split open.
Oh yeah, I see the little. It's like a monkey wrench, legitimately.
Yeah, dude, it's an insane movie, but it's one that watching now holds a more powerful place in my heart.
It's the James Gunn. This episode is just the James Gunn glaze. Yeah, this is just a James Gunn glaze fest.
No, trust me, dude. I mean, being a cinephile, I can have these conversations about any director, really. David Fincher, even like somebody in the more like recent times is Luca Guadagnino. I really love Challengers, but you want to just switch over to the movie that I watched today? Because at that point,
we'll get onto the actual topic where we just like dive into more artist profiles about that. But
exactly,
at least we have a lot to talk about. Like for me, I definitely am. I don't think I'm a musophile, but I think I am like an artisan of music, at least a collector to a degree, where I enjoy music a lot more because it's a lot more digestible and quicker to digest than movies have to be.
That's true.
Like, I wish movies were made. Like for me, I wish movies were made in podcast form, or like in like audiobook form. Like if they adapted movies to the degree.
Those are called books.
Yeah, read the fucking book. I want like an audiobook though, like a movie that is the first movie that is successfully replicated in audiobook format, to where it's like you have the chapters, you have the sound effects and the special effects, and it can still channel the same feeling as watching it in a theater without needing the visuals.
Dude, I think we just unlocked something. Think about it. Imagine if there were script audiobooks, but with the actors doing, you know how they do table reads?
Yeah.
It's that, but in audio form.
That's a pretty great...
Once Upon a Time as an ebook, oh my God.
Dude, I'd love to hear what like a superhero movie would sound like in a audiobook format.
That would be cool. The sound effects, the elements, the soundtrack would still... Damn.
I feel like it really like... I feel like movies... Since movies rely less on visual effects, more on visual effects now than ever before. But I feel like it's such an interesting challenge to take on creatively, to adapt a medium, to adapt in the opposite direction, downgrade a movie from being a movie down to its like bare essentials of visuals, theatrical soundtrack, script, and character acting.
No, yeah, it's nuanced. It's something that people think, when people talk about how a book is better than the movie, it's like, no, there definitely there's crossover in some regards to certain things, but in other times, like, you can't make an album into a movie. You can't make Dark Side of the Moon into a movie. You can't make OK Computer into a movie.
Yeah, exactly. That's one thing where maybe in the next episode we'll talk about that with the artists.
Albums that can become movies.
Yeah, albums that can become movies, and in turn, movies that could become musical albums.
Bro, I got this French artist. We'll talk about it in another time, but I got this French artist that kind of did that. It's so... Dude, I watched this whole video deconstructing the storyline of it. It's such a clever way to play on an album's like first half and second half. But yeah, the movie that I watched today was Michael Shanks's Together, starring Dave Franco and Alison Brie.
Let's pull it up on the screen. Well,
Dude,
I can pull it up right here, but I'll show it on the video when I edit it.
Movie whole. Okay, so I mean, if you're a fan of The Substance, or if you've watched The Substance, or if you love like Cronenberg movies, or co-host, you might need to help me on this one again. Carpenter, John Carpenter.
You keep.
I don't know why I'm running blanks on that
name.
But like, it's a great movie. Honestly, I will say like it's scary when it needs to be, and it's funny when it needs to be. It doesn't compromise those horrific moments with a good joke, but it uses those calm character building scenes really well. I think because Dave Franco and Alison Brie are a couple in real life. I'm not sure, but their dynamic in the movie plays like very real, very realistic in how like a couple would talk to one another. But pretty much the synopsis is this couple moved into this rural area for Alison Brie's character's job, and they go hiking one day and they discover I guess, how would you even say, like a subterranean cave?
Yeah, just a cave.
And and after that, certain things occur where their characters are ultimately having to work around the fact that they're becoming closer.
Like they're just like morphing together into one body.
Yeah.
So they stumble upon like an artifact, a crystal, or like they like get like fucking possessed.
That's the thing when I want to talk about, because I really want to talk about this movie, but I don't. If whoever's listening, I don't want them to be like, "Oh, great, I just got the movie spoiled." But I really would like to talk about it.
Okay, we could talk about it.
We'll put like a little spoiler warning right now.
Editor, me put up the time code for when the spoilers start happening. But spoilers start right now because I don't know if I'm gonna see this movie and I want to hear about it.
Yes, which honestly you should.
I definitely probably will, because I want to see a lot more horror movies during this upcoming fall.
Yeah. And
new ones especially, because just the feeling that horror movies give you sometimes is just something else.
Dude, man, that's what I love about this podcast, because I have a little bit of everything, because I can introduce you to some really great not up and coming directors, but like well established directors that have been making noise. Osgood Perkins, Longlegs, The Monkey, and then this new one coming out called Keeper.
He made Longlegs?
He made Longlegs.
And he made The Monkey?
Uh-huh.
That's crazy, man. What a difference.
What
a dichotomy. I didn't know that.
I'm telling you, man. So pretty much they go, so there's like hints throughout the movie, and I think that was the thing that kind of like made it more enjoyable for me. Is I think watching a movie, I tend to connect the pieces earlier, which is great. I mean, if a movie allows you to do that, then that's doing its job well. It's letting the audience find out by themselves. But there is this whole dynamic between Dave Franco's and Alison Brie's character, which is like the whole point of the movie is feeling trapped in a relationship.
Yeah.
Wanting to leave, but you can't. So they're about to move away from the city to this, rural area a couple hours away for Alison Brie's job. She's a teacher.
Okay.
And automatically from the jump, it plays really well. I mean, one, I have to say, like, it's shot amazingly. Like, the composition, how some of the scenes are shot out, like how some of the scenes are shot is really great. The color is really nice. It doesn't feel like those like oversaturated or undersaturated horror movies where everything's in the dark.
Yeah.
Honestly, a lot of this shit happens during the daytime.
One of my biggest pet peeves, especially with modern horror movies, is undersaturation is such like a big issue. I know it sets an easy mood and it can be very useful, like
to sell like the horror of like not knowing what's out there.
Undersaturation, the king of it right now, at least I feel, is Robert Eggers. Robert Eggers works so well with color and moody grays and very dark.
Yeah. Or even bright colors with Midsommar.
Yeah.
Is he the one that did Midsommar?
I think he did. I think he did
Lighthouse,
Midsommar.
Hereditary.
Yeah, but his works in those like spears of like darker movies like Hereditary and The Lighthouse especially is like one of the fucking easiest ones to point to. Those movies are extremely well done in regards to how well they like just composite color and establish a mood. But movies in fucking horror in the 20th century be doing great just to be doing great, man.
Oh, dude, he also did The Witch, didn't he?
The Vavitch, yeah. I love The Vavitch.
I wish I rewatched it now because I watched it when I was a kid and I felt like I didn't understand it.
No, yeah.
It wasn't scary to me. It was more just like, what the fuck is this? Why are they talking like that?
We'll get the... Yeah, I know. Like, it was definitely subverted for the time. The Vavitch review, setting it now. We're going to watch The Vavitch again.
Honestly,
and give it a review later on. That's a teaser for another episode.
So throughout the story, you're kind of getting this idea that Dave Franco's character is starting to feel a bit like trapped. I mean, he, there's dialogue in the movies where they have like an argument with the character that becomes important later, but this is what I mean when it sells comedy really well, but also horror really well. So in that same scene in which they're saying goodbye to their friends before they have to move, Alison Brie's character decides to make the sudden decision to propose.
Yeah.
And it's so sweet because she doesn't have a ring, but she opens up her hands like a clamshell. And it's so, and he's just like, he's, a couple minutes before he's talking about it with, he's talking about, where he's at. I think he was a musician that got dropped from his label. So he's feeling just lost. And I think this put him in a very on the spot position. And dude, the humor was in the secondhand embarrassment. Like you could see people's reactions start to turn from smiles and cheers to like, oh no. And then it moves into them sleeping in the bed, like of their new house. And I think they had this but they had this whole discussion. And what I liked is some of the dialogue choices, like, oh, if we don't split now, it'll only be harder. You know what I mean? In the future. You know what I mean? It ties.
Foreshadowing.
The foreshadowing is really great. It's not on the nose, especially if you're somebody who just wants to watch this movie. You're thinking to yourself like, oh yeah, it's obvious. Like, if it better to do it now than later because then it's gonna hurt more. But this is one of my favorite. Dude, honestly, I want to just talk about this scene because it's probably one of my favorite jump scares recently. So Dave Franco's character he's looking outside the window and he looks back at Alison Brie's character and then she's saying like, you need me more than I need you. And she's saying these things, right? But she's saying in such a monotone voice. It's like I'm getting shivers just thinking about it. So he turns and the camera's quality switches to, you ever seen Skinamarink?
Oh, I love Skinamarink. I couldn't take seriously, but I love it for just its concept in general.
Then you know about that blue tone, right? That blue tone in the night?
Yeah.
With the grainy texture?
Oh my God. Yeah, Now I remember why I liked it so much. Is that tone.
That eeriness,
Mm-hmm.
dude. So it's being filmed like that. So he turns around to face her, and she has her back face to him, and it switches. I'm getting chills, and she's saying these things, and then he turns forward, and he sees his mom smiling, and her eyes are fucking, like, like wide open, and there's someone next to her, and then you get an upward view of the bed. And it's a long bed with his mom, and you find out that it was his dad, but his dad died, but the mom had like a psychotic break, and so she just had him at the house. And when he found his dad, she was just looking at him smiling, like she just completely lost her mind. You find that later down the line, but it shows the top view of the bed, and it's long, and it gets getting closer and closer, like it's coming together. And then you see him lift up his blanket, and then it's her face pop up like The Grudge. Oh my goodness, dude, my heart is racing thinking of it, because not only on a cinematic level, it's horrifying. The texture really amplifies that like unsettling image of a woman wide-eyed smiling, like there's nothing behind those eyes.
It really builds up all that tension, huh?
And then paying homage to The Grudge with him lifting up the sheet, and then the face comes out. But it was also a good sign because immediately when I saw that, I'm like, oh, before that scene, he's looking at a picture of his folks, and you can see like a certain like reaction to seeing that photo. I'm just thinking, oh, maybe his parents had like a nasty divorce or something along those lines that made him more cautious on settling down. Maybe he has a fear of commitment. And then you see that view, and then they come together. I'm like, oh, it's symbolism for him not wanting to be like his parents, and he feels like with him settling down and even possibly saying yes to Alison Brie's proposal earlier would have made it more real, that he would have been like that lifestyle that he grew up in.
Yeah.
But then that's one of many like focal elements regarding how they manage their relationship. But I'm gonna get to the real nitty gritty stuff.
That's a real deep allegory, though. Like
that's
that
what I'm
whole
saying.
Thing is like,
and I'm like, it'd be so easy for him to for the director to just sell Alison Brie's character does like a quick turn and scares you, and he wakes up from a nightmare, which it was that whole thing. But no, it was able to tell a story in a jump scare, and I was like, wow, that's very impressive.
The type of jump scares that really build up the tension through the storyline are some of the best, and it really makes it less feel like a cheap shot and more like an actual real feeling that people have probably felt in the life.
Yes, like suffocating damn near.
Yeah.
So what happened? So pretty much they go on a hike to get a look around the new area they're around. There was this character that's introduced who's a school teacher that Alison Brie's character works with. He seems like a nice guy, but he also kind of, I think automatically you can kind of get the feeling of like he likes her and he's trying to fuck. You know what I mean? Like that type of guy who's like, he's a friend. He's a friend.
We're all friends here.
We're all friends here.
You can change in front of me.
It's all cool.
I don't care.
Dude, he
We're
honestly
fake family.
Yeah, his character gave off that vibe a lot because when they would argue, he's like, maybe it just means you guys need each other. Like he's trying to be the mediator between their internal conflicts. I'm like, are you saying that because you're into her, or you're trying to be the nice guy? But
yeah.
So they go on this hike, and it starts to pour rain. They get lost, and then Dave Franco's character falls in this cave, and this cave looks like a how would you say it? Like it has big roots connecting into this pond, like this little pond that has this liquid. It is oddly reminiscent on like, what's the closest I would bring it to? Like it doesn't look like a nervous system, but it looks like something from Akira. You know what I'm talking about? Thick tubes that connect somewhere.
Like just like very like
organic.
Organic but inorganic. Like it feels like something is definitely like
the ground is alive. Damn near.
The ground is alive. The world is focused to this one thing for a specific reason.
Right. So they set up camp. They turn on a fire, and that's where you find out about this story about him and his dad, like him finding his dad like that. Oh man, there's so many. I say like please watch it because it's great. But
this is very like, I mean, for being spoilers, this is very non-sequential, so I don't even know what's going on most of the time, at least in the chronological scheme of things. But it does sound very enthralling.
So they have this camp going on as the rain is going, and they're checking to see if they have water. And they only have enough for Alison Brie's character to get some, and Dave Franco, trying to be kind of like being lighthearted about the situation. He brings out a bottle. He's like, let me see if I have another bottle, and pulls out a bottle of wine. And then she's like, what is that? The other bottle. And then he goes to drink from the pond. And so there's this really cool shot where he's dipping his hand in, but you're getting the reflection of the pond or like the water instead of him dipping. It's like, it's a really cool like upside down shot. And after that's when you start seeing the symptoms. So like Alison Brie's character would go drive her car and maybe go to the store or something, and then he like blacks out, and then he starts moving in accordance to where she's going. And wow. You know what I mean? And then it starts to pick up more and more after the fact, but there's a really good twist in which the nice guy turns out to have actually been a part of what was a cult that had a chapel, like a church, built over this pond.
Oh, shit.
So what would happen is their belief was, Zeus made it to where a human was split into two, so you're constantly trying to find your partner. You're trying to find your other self. And so what they do is they cut their wrists, and then they drink from the water, and then they become one. They become one person.
That's crazy.
So he tricks Alison Brie's character. I think it was after a fight, because it's a relationship story before it is like a horror story.
Yeah. But
he tricks her into drinking the water, and now both of them are now suffering from the conditions, and now she's believing him. And then there's this really great scene where they decide to sleep in different rooms because I think. Yeah, because at this point she doesn't believe him. And he's like, I'm right. When you leave past this point, your body's wanting you to stay. You can feel it. And she's like, my parents are coming this Sunday. I think you should sleep in sleep in the guest room or something. And it culminates to like both of them in the middle of the night, like being like magnetized towards one another, and they're trying to stop it, and you can really feel the force of like them not wanting to come together. And then they join hands, and then you just start seeing the hands overlap and go under the skin and become one.
Oh yeah,
and then it's like
that's very rough.
Yeah, it goes on from there. Like it goes from that to a scene where the next morning, after they were trying to after they were taking they called it diazepam, but they made a joke about it. It's like, what is this, Valium? It's like, no, they call it diazepam now. But they're crushing diazepam, snorting it to relax their muscles. And then Dave Franco wakes up the day after to being strapped to a chair. Alison Brie's ready to saw off the two of them. Because the muscle relaxers work to an extent, but then they were still connected by flesh. So she got the saw, and it's a great movie, man. I think it's a subversion on a topic that I think a lot of people would definitely feel like, feeling suffocated and or trapped in something.
Yeah.
But it takes it to a level where how do I say this? Like it's horrifying in the sense that like a lot of people can know that feeling of anxiety when they feel apart from their partner, or like the want to get away from somebody when you know that you really don't want to, but it's kind of like
you need that space. Yeah, it's like not. It just feels like more hurtful to give yourself that space than it probably does to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it probably feels the same way. It's reciprocated, obviously, to the other party.
Absolutely.
Unless if you got like a fucking shitty boyfriend, they should have fucking cast Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson in this movie.
It's just arguing with like the occasional body horror.
Yeah, like this is fucking. This sounds like the better marriage story.
But yeah, like overall, like it's weird because I think when I talk about movies, I never really talk about it in the sense of like the plot, because that's something that I think a lot of people want to experience by themselves. But as far as like what I liked about it, it was just refreshing. It was probably one of the more enjoyable movies I watched recently compared to like Fantastic Four and Superman. Like I enjoyed those for different reasons. This was very much so just like fulfilling that part in my brain that looks for something that makes me uncomfortable, something that makes me scared. And I genuinely got scared in some of these parts. There was a jump scare scene. a jump scare scene where Dave Franco's learning about like this missing couple that went missing nearby where they were, and he's checking their last post and he sees the coordinates, which was like in the same hiking trail which they went up to.
Yeah.
And then before he can see where the other like coordinate is or something, Alison Brie's character bangs on the door because after this was after she drank the water. That was the same night. She is trying to get to him, like she's asleep. So I think in the movie, when you're asleep, it's a lot easier for the bodies to come together because their mind doesn't have control over it.
Yeah.
And you just see this scene of her, like, it's like one of those weird sliding doors that you have like that texture glass so you can't see inside.
Oh,
and you can't see outside.
Yeah.
So he just sees like the outline of her figure start moving how he's moving, and then he tries to go on his tippy toes, and then you can see her start floating.
Oh, wow.
It was so good, man. These are the things that made it really suspenseful and honestly for me like horrifying. Because then when you get to the climax where they're like, you know, after she finds out this whole cult situation in the same time where he's going back to the hole to find out what it is, they both find out that it's a church. They both find out it's like, you know, this whole cult thing. But they decide at the end of the movie to be one. And then you see the scene where they get naked and then they start, you know, holding each other, and then the fingers start going inside the ribs, and you can see like the vertebrae start to move and the ribs start to move, and like the shoulder blade. It's oddly beautiful in how horrific it looks, because it looks like something out of The Thing.
Yeah.
Like just like unnatural. And then at the end of the movie, the parents are ready to, I think it's at that point it's Sunday, and the parents are walking up, about to knock on the door, and then it's Dave Franco and Alison Brie's character morphed as one person.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
But the setup and payoff and how it was using horror, it was very clever, and I loved it, man. It's a movie that I think a lot of people should watch, especially as a date movie. Honestly, dude, bring your girl to it. That is the date movie, bro.
I could definitely see myself bringing my girlfriend to that movie, because that definitely would sound. This is where the spoilers end. Yeah, time code. Here.
But yeah, dude, when I was at the theater, it was couples. Besides me and my big homie, it was just couples, and you were seeing the reactions and people laugh in certain aspects, and some people being like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, like I could definitely probably bring my girlfriend there.
Does she like stuff like that, or is she more turned off to the idea of like, oh yeah, two people becoming one?
I remember talking to her about horror movies, and she told me that she takes horror movies like really viscerally.
Oh.
So I would assume that she definitely probably is very icky to body horror.
Dude.
But
yeah.
I actually have not seen her reaction to any horror movies just yet. So that definitely kind of sounds like a kind of movie I would want to see. Because it would probably freak me out too. I'm very visceral to body horror as well. Like, there's something about like the contortioning of a body in a realistic manner that always has irked me in a way.
Yeah.
It's like watching someone break their, like, people are always like, dude, check out this person, they just broke their fucking leg, and it's a video, and I'm just like, dude, that's like fucking gross.
Because it's unnatural, right?
It's really unnatural. Like the fucking.
There was a scene like that where, like, you know, contortionist was probably doing the performance, but like that feeling, anyone who does this shit where like their back is facing you and then they bend over, like not bend over, but they bend the opposite way to face you. Yeah. It's like, I don't care if you're a gymnast, that's scary. I'm gonna kick you.
That's such a violent reaction to that. It's like,
it's like, oh my god, that's not real.
Just fucking get the fuck away from me. Yeah, like for The Thing, I mean, it was dated, so it definitely didn't scare me as much, but it still had that element of like, holy shit, man, this is like fucking crazy. If I definitely saw it when I was younger, I definitely would be like fucked up.
Yeah.
But the earliest example I can remember is definitely like Coraline. Coraline for me, actually, it's the scene where the two gymnasts, the two old grandma gymnasts in the other world become a ball of taffy.
Yes.
Like, they're normal in the beginning, and then they become this like unimaginably like large visceral version of themselves where they're like a double-headed dragon,
Yeah,
basically, like
dude.
fucking eating each other
That detail
and
that
becoming
people
like just attacking her, like going at her, and it's
getting
like, oh
at
my
her.
god, it's like fucking scary.
The voices morphing, the two voices morphing into one. That always is always like a scary thing that like sells it more.
Yeah, that too was also being a part of the movie. It's just like, damn, dude, this is so unnatural. And the other mother too, when she turns from like this more like caring version of her mom in real life,
Yeah.
like very clean cut, very nice and pretty, to just this like fucking spindly limbed, long, just inhuman creature, 6 foot tall, towering over this little girl.
Yeah.
Like they really, Leica is such a great fucking studio.
It
They are
needs more
so
money,
amazing,
dude.
Like
I
they
want them to make
sell-
movies till infinity.
Yeah, dude,
grew
they
up on 'em.
sell like height to such an imaginable, like visceral
Remember
degree.
that garden scene?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect example of that. Of just like a set piece that is like incredible.
Yeah, I think about like every single one of their movies. Probably, definitely, I've watched most of their movies except for maybe like Missing Link. I'm definitely
Yeah,
gonna
I
be
think
checking
I
out that
would,
new
yeah.
one that's coming out within the next year. I forgot what it's called, but like, yeah, I want them to keep making movies into infinity. They know how to perceive scale, like no other stop motion studio I think really can do. I think they're just like so good at crafting not only a world but crafting it in such a realistic manner that it's not that's not just like
Yeah.
it's realistic. It's like it feels like
real.
a real story.
Yeah. You're not getting a puppet show. You're getting a genuine like masterpiece.
Yeah, like in no
introduced a lot of
disrespect
people,
to
yeah.
like Aardman. Aardman definitely has like
Talking about Wallace and Gromit?
yeah,
Yeah.
Aardman Studios is great. But you know, it definitely takes you out of the like realism aspect.
Yeah, because they're exaggerated.
They're exaggerated. They're people, and they're silly movies too.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to Aardman for like.
Kubo and the Two Strings or
Kubo and the Two
Paranorman.
Strings.
Paranorman was a great movie.
I have Paranorman on Blu-ray actually, and it's actually one of the movies that actually shaped me in how I perceive animation now, because one of the biggest moments for me was when they go into the witch's like central area and they meet the
Yes.
girl, and those effects,
It's the woods, and then she has like her outline, right?
the woods, the outline, the like
glow.
the fading of her like multiple faces spreading apart, like she's just, it's such a good perception of like magic
Yeah.
and like fantastical magic that's like at the
Dude.
same time amazing to watch but also extremely like scary. It's like scary too. It's,
Yeah. You know what's a movie that made me feel that way too? Frankenweenie.
Frankenweenie is so good.
Because
I
it was
love
cute,
Frankenweenie.
you know? But then it was that black and white aesthetic that also made it feel like you were watching. I mean, obviously it's based on the Frankenstein movie and like that black and white aesthetic, but you know, it was visceral.
Mhm.
As a kid, you felt like, oh my god, you know, everyone's reanimating their dead pets.
Yeah. And it's really well done to the degree where it's like each of the characters like own connections to their own like animals reflects who they are.
Yeah.
And like it's not like where it's like, oh, this character has this and this and that. I think it's just like, I don't know, man. Something about stop motion movies, like, I don't know what like makes directors just like kick into high gear and make like some of the best fucking media ever. But like, you know, you got fucking Guillermo del Toro locking in for Pinocchio.
Yeah.
You got fucking Tim
Wes
Burton
Burton, Wes
locking in
Anderson.
for Frankenweenie. Wes Anderson locking in for Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Isle of Dogs. Honestly, I will say I forget. I have trouble putting Isle of Dogs and Fantastic Mr. Fox because they're both amazing.
They're both great. I have yet to watch Isle of Dogs in full, but I've seen a couple of clips of it. Fantastic Mr. Fox, though, is what I know for
It's
sure.
great.
And like, I don't know, man. That medium just allows so much creative potential, and every time I've not been disappointed. There's not been a single stop motion film in animation that has disappointed me.
I don't even think you can because it's so much effort. You really got to know what you're making.
Yeah,
Like
like
even I'm not even the biggest fan of James and the Jam Peach, but like classic.
you're really
As a kid, it was never really my forte.
wow,
Because think
dude.
about it, at that point, that's James and the Giant Peach came out with like 19 something.
Yeah,
Like at that point, we had Coraline, Frank and Norman, no
Paranorman.
Paranorman, Frankenweenie, like those were my upbringing. So I'm looking at it in the same regard. I'm like, no, I still watch Coraline.
Yeah, I like James and the Giant Peach. I like it a lot. I think for me, at least the most, and this is like even like very still like a very high bar to clear. I think that Box Trolls maybe is probably one of the lower films for me, at least in terms of like scope.
Yeah.
But in terms of like just general, like, it's not in terms of scope. Actually, yeah, in terms of scope, but in terms of like development of the characters, development of the world and setting, it's one of my favorites.
Yeah, dude.
I love like the fact that it's a port city. One of my favorite settings. Like, I've always seen any movie that has like
the old English way. Yeah.
Yeah, like any movie. This is my fucking like main take. Any movie that has a port city that's like a very like well done port city that functions and they establish that it's a cool port city, it's automatically a 10.
That's a win.
I think those things are. There's like this one movie that I watched called have you watched, what was it called? The Sea King?
The Sea King.
Or the Sea Monster. It's something from.
Wait a minute, I know what you're talking
about.
about.
From Netflix.
Oh.
It's from Netflix. It's a kids movie about this like girl that discovers like a giant monster outside of this like her town with a pirate.
Dude, that reminds me of what movie is it? Water Horse. No, not Water Horse. I think it is Water Horse. This boy finds this egg, takes care of the egg. It turns out to be a Loch Ness monster.
Oh yeah,
it's a
dude.
Loch Ness monster.
Dude, that cover scared me. I never watched that movie because the cover scared me.
It was, what I mean, it was a little bit scary. I mean, as a kid, because I'm like, holy shit, that's kind of horrific when you see it in the night, in the lightning flashes, and then you just see like him scurry when he's a baby. But you learn to love him. He's a great character.
Yeah, I think that movie is great, even though it's one of my lower. Going back to Box Trolls, I think it's one of my lower Leica films, and in general stop motion films. It's still a great movie. Like, it's an automatic. It's probably like,
it sets up to a world really well. In
a world of 10s, it's like a 9.
Yeah,
it's like a 9.5.
I mean, you know what? I think that's going back to that. I mean, I look at with Together in that same regard of sometimes it's cool to come into something established. I don't like, sure, with how the reveal was revealed, like the twist was revealed. It, of course, like, you can kind of gather it by yourself and understand it, but it's also cool to think about, like, oh, where did it come from? Where did said conflict? I mean, the thing that you're thinking about after the movie. It's not just force fed into you. Like, I would hate for it to be like a singular reason for why these characters are going through what they're going through. It's like, it's more you can make the story. You can continue the story in your own head.
Yeah, I mean,
like Box Trolls, like, why did they have? How did they? Damn, I really gotta rewatch that movie, but because I'm thinking about it, because like, why do they have boxes? Why boxes? But you know what I mean? I think it's just a thematic element.
It was all like a thematic element.
But they made it work though, because with the boxes, they were able to function and move and blend into society really well.
Sneak around.
Yeah.
Like, boxes are the one thing that they were able to discard, and like
it has a meaning.
And it had a meaning, and everything like that. It just all really connects with each other. That's what a good movie really only has really should always have elements that connect with each other, regardless of how minuscule they may seem. If it's in the short term or the long term, like, directors need to. I don't think directors need to. They already do, but like, I feel like a great director can establish something in the short term super fast and then have it be fulfilled in the same moment. But a great director can establish something in super fast and then
build on it
later with a huge payoff.
Dude, honestly, that's what people have been saying with Attack on Titan. Like, I watched Attack on Titan the first season back in like 2015 when it was on Netflix.
Yeah.
And this was still in that like 4-year period between season 1 and season 2. So by that time, I already had like Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, Fooly Cooly, like these like phenomenal animes that I still hold dear to my heart.
Yeah.
And so when season 2 came out, I kind of just like, I lost that initial appeal that I had when I first watched season 1. But people say the same thing when it comes to Isayama's writing, about how something that can seem so insignificant in like earlier chapters has a big payoff in the end.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It takes a lot of craft and planning. And you know what? Either that or you're just, spitballing and seeing what works and you're like, oh yeah, I can use this from the previous chapter and make it work. But when it's done well, it's very gratifying because you feel like either you already knew that before, and as a reader you're like, I knew it. Mm-hmm. I'm smart. Mm-hmm. Or you can see what they did with it and being like, oh wow, like what a great way to use that focal element.
Yeah,
like Chekhov's gun and such. That that movie that Together did that as well, like Chekhov's gun in really interesting ways.
Okay,
really interesting ways, dude. I swear to God, you should watch it.
I definitely want to watch it. That definitely seems like something I would be interested in.
Plus, I feel like you're somebody who can appreciate more of the cinematic elements. I have this thing where if I'm watching a movie and I really like a shot, I put my thumbs up, and depending on how hard I fuck with it, I really like give a hard thumbs up because there's some shots that are like filmed really well, and like it could be like a screensaver. I love shots that I love great shots. You know what I mean? Like
cinematography is great. I think that I love really amazing cinematography in movies, especially ones that just work off of their setting, regardless of how fantastical it is and like how out of this world it is. If it could still use it without necessarily like using the characters as the focal point, that's a great movie. I think that Blade Runner 2049 does that especially well. They do, Denis Villeneuve did the Dune movies, directed that movie, but director of cinematography was someone else, and I forgot who it was, but knocked it out of the park.
Oh yeah, I think him and Villeneuve, Denis Villeneuve. I think he's French Canadian.
Yeah, French Canadian, and then Ridley Scott produced the movie.
I think I think the same one that he worked on with Dune is the same one he worked on with Blade Runner.
Really?
Because I want to say maybe.
I think I don't know if they both did it because I see very drastic differences.
The orange scene. The sand scene kind of.
The sands, the casino scene is what it is.
That was when they go and meet
when he goes and meets Deckard for the first time.
Yeah.
But I also think of when he's going into, Wallace Corp, when K-39 or K-42, fuck, what's his name? Just Officer K.
Ryan Gosling's
character. When Ryan Gosling is going into Wallace Corp, and he's inside of this like massive compound, larger than life compound, even bigger than the last movie. Like the first movie had amazing cinematography for the scenes when you're inside of the machine, inside of the Megacorp building, but also in like smaller interpersonal scenes. It kind of loses me when you get into like the bigger like citywide scenes because it's less focused on like establishing a shot and more focused on tracking the character of Harrison Ford.
Interesting. Okay, I see what you're saying.
That's one thing that I noticed with the differences between Denis and Ridley's establishment of shots. Yeah. Composition-wise, Ridley's is more dynamic. He loves...
Especially because those set pieces were practical.
Yeah, he loves using people. He loves filling up a space with as many people, as many faces as possible to give it that feeling of congestion.
Yeah, live, like it's a society.
Yeah, whereas Denis uses the very vacant openness of this like post-apocalyptic world to its advantage by making it seem so solemn.
Wait, I forget. Is it post-apocalyptic or is it cyberpunk?
It's cyberpunk, but in some cases you could call it post-apocalyptic because the movie just
like a rundown metropolis.
Yeah, the movie is just such a cynical take on like metropolis type cities and as a whole in general just
what it means to be human, especially.
What it means to be human because spoiler for fucking 5-year-old movie, he's not human.
Yeah.
Fucking Ryan Gosling is not a human the whole time. He thinks he's a human that was implanted with someone else's mind, but then he finds out that he's just a replicant, and he loses his shit.
I think what sucks even more within that story is why he loses his shit is he felt like he was important.
Yeah,
he felt like he was the main character.
That's one of the like hardest pills.
He thought he was. My bad.
Yeah, he thought he was, and that was the hardest pill that I remember swallowing. And I remember when, he finds out and he's so mad about it. Yet when he realizes that the story has taken a point that's bigger than him, like he finally delivers Deckard to his daughter. He met the resistance of replicants that are fighting against these people. He realizes now his story necessarily didn't have to involve such a large scope because, he already found his meaning.
Yeah.
He found his ideal scenario of bringing together not only this focal point of people who are going to become like basically the leaders of this ultra resistance, but also bringing together this coalition and realizing that he's been the piece of the puzzle to bringing all this together.
You're not any less important because what you thought to be the case isn't the case.
Yeah, that's one of the best like moments in cinema, I think.
It's such
in my opinion, that settles such a complex storyline in such a way that's like not really like I want more. Like
you feel satisfied.
I feel satisfied. It's such a well done, complete story.
Yeah.
Whereas the first movie, it definitely does set up for like a sequel. It doesn't feel like it sets up for. It does feel like a complete story, but it doesn't feel as complete to K's story.
Yeah, and I think that's also just because of studio interference. I know there was so many cuts of Blade Runner, the Ridley's version.
The studio version had fucking
the
like
ending was dog shit.
I know.
They just ride off in the sunset, literally.
I just remember that the beginning is just like the first theatrical cut had a narrator of Officer of
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford doing narration for the movie.
I think he drops a hard R in there.
Really?
I think he does drop a hard R in the narrated version.
What the fuck? I did not know about that.
Yeah, man, I forgot where it was. I think it was when he was in the police department, like the station.
What the hell?
It was the funniest shit because I think I saw it on Twitter and it was just so abrupt. I was like, whoa.
What a crazy wow! I did not know that.
It's funny if you find it, that is just hilarious to me.
Editor, put it up, but censor it.
Jamie, pull up that N-word. No.
Hey, Jamie, pull up the N-word. Second episode. We're already dropping it.
Honestly though, I think at that time a lot of people were being like, dude, I was rewatching Martin Scorsese's The Departed.
Oh really?
Yeah, and there was definitely a couple of those dropped in, but it's like you're in Boston, but at the same time, I don't know. Like, if Quentin Tarantino drops it in Django, some shape or form, that kind of makes sense given the story. But then when it's dropped in like unexpected fashion, you're just like, whoa.
I don't know.
That's just because of more recent times, because you're not expecting to hear it.
You just think about like, I don't know.
Like, oh, it's a police department in Boston. Yeah, what else am I gonna expect?
You have to really think about like, like contextual setting always like makes sense for a movie that deals with very hardcore social issues like that.
Yeah, that was a very intense movie about a lot of things.
Yeah, like in general, like a bunch of movies that are just like that deal with social issues. If you gotta drop something for contextual reasons, that's like, whoa, man. I mean,
that's a good point. You know what? I think a lot of people tend to forget that when it comes to the surface level reaction to something is like, the intent and what you're trying to sell.
Yeah.
But we could talk about that another day.
Yeah, that's like a whole other thing.
What I like about stuff like Blade Runner and especially 2049 and what it did was kind of we got that before as kids. Ninjago. Remember when you thought that the Red Ninja was going to be the one that's going to be the main character, but Lloyd was actually the main character?
Yeah, that completely like you got me there with such a hardcore blindside that I didn't even think about that. But yeah, you go on.
Yeah, what I mean is, it's something that I think we all I'm not gonna generalize, but what I think, what I believe is, it's a great. I keep saying thematic, but like it's a great storytelling element that gives a nuanced take on what is a person's role in life, or sometimes you may not be the main character that you expect to be. You're not going to be the one that's going to save the day as this person is, but you're not any less important. I think, going back to like why we were named, I mean, Mateo was a take on Matthew, which was one of the 12 disciples. Like I'm not one to really delve deep into the lore of things, like religious wise.
Yeah.
Like I've never been one to really dig deep on like the Matthew lore.
No, and everyone really like connects everything to like the Bible.
Everything is, especially when it comes to naming children. But
Yeah,
what
it's something or other.
What I liked was Matthew, if I'm correct, was a tax collector.
I believe so. Yeah.
But in his story, he was a disciple, but he wasn't the main one. He wasn't the one that
he wasn't Peter. He wasn't John.
Yeah, he was just he was doing what he needed to do for the sake of the goal, or to spread the word of God in some shape or form. Like, and not, I don't mean to put this on people, be like, oh, this is why things are important. What I mean is, even in the very basis on why we're named, goes to show that a person's purpose can sometimes be a piece of something much bigger.
Yeah, like you don't forge your own path by following in the footsteps of something that you don't believe in or that you're not a part of. You forge your own path to the degree that you feel fulfilled in your own right, you know?
Yes.
Like if you follow something that you don't truly believe in, but you feel like you're a part of it because you have to be a part of it, that's not really living. That's more or less you're just following the ideals set for you. And that in itself is kind of trapping you from realizing your true potential as a person, because, you box yourself in with like ideas that could be like much more.
Well, you become more one-dimensional with that viewpoint if everything revolves around you.
Yeah, you become very conceited.
Yeah, which it's unfortunate to say, because that whether it is your taste or your viewpoints or anything, if it doesn't follow the filter of like, does it benefit me or do I care, it makes people a lot more apathetic to the idea of just like, hey, there's more than just you running the world.
Yeah.
Or there's more things are going to happen with or without your control, and if you know it. That's why we have to be a little bit more, I guess, sympathetic to the idea that, we all play a role in each other's lives in whichever way. Sometimes you may not be the saving grace. You may not be that person that this person is going to be with for the rest of their lives. Doesn't mean that you didn't make an impact. In whichever way that is. I think that's the thing that a lot of, like, it's the hard pill to swallow. Like, hey, you could have honestly been a bad impact as much as you could have been a good impact.
Yeah, regardless.
You might be the lesson that a person learns.
Yeah, as what No Malice said in beautiful Birds Don't Sing. Yeah, Birds Don't Sing. There's an L in every lesson.
Yeah, let your mess become your message.
Yeah, your mess become your message. I've been repeating that bar, and I was telling one of my other guys in the group, like all the guys in the group chat, like that bar is so frank of a message to say, but contextualizing it in the song, it amplifies it to such a degree that it's like, damn, dude, this is something that you can sit with and really digest. It's not just like, yeah, you take an L in every lesson. It's L.
Yeah, it's like it's a point of clarity. Mm-hmm. It's not just like, oh, like you have something like Bounce Back by Big Sean. An anthem about like, I had a calm moment, now I'm bouncing back. Malice was more of like looking back at his father's words and advice. And something so simple is now so pivotal in how he lives, especially after his father's passing.
Yeah.
Like these two, the clips, especially this song, they don't really make a lot of like interpersonal about their families, type of music. But like somebody who's recently dropped something, Freddie Gibbs, has definitely done that.
Yeah. Well, let's talk.
Freddie Gibbs, man.
Yeah, Freddie Gibbs is something else of a character, dude, because for me, I have not known Freddie Gibbs too much to say that I can make a valid opinion. But this most recent project of his stuck out to me in a way that I didn't expect, because it's kind of the first project that I feel like has breached the scope of general hip-hop talk I've seen, because people are definitely hailing it as one of his like more stronger projects, and I can see why. Is Alfredo 2 we're talking about?
Yes, Alfredo 2 out now.
Mm-hmm. Alfredo 2 is outstanding. It's a collaboration, the second collaboration between Freddie Gibbs and the Alchemist.
Uncle Al.
Yeah, Uncle. Yeah, go. recently. Well, it's actually been a couple of months, but I hope he bounced back from that fire.
With Erykah Badu AI.
Also Erykah Badu AI.
The other thing, the Twitter thing, I don't know, man. That's the thing that sucks when it comes to stuff like that.
You really have to like I feel. I mean, it's that's why you just don't idolize anyone really. Like I don't idolize the Alchemist as a producer as much as I idolize like Mike Dean as a producer. Like they're great in their own respects for what they do to hip hop.
They're still people.
But of course, they still do people shit. And sometimes they can mess up. Sometimes they can just follow along in something because they're being paid to, or they just feel like it's the vision that they have to create. And so it's all right. But fuck AI.
That Erykah Badu thing kind of got me hot because I'm like, you're dealing with an artist. Both of you guys are artists, and I know his mentality on it, in some shape or form, I guess. But it's always just feels like you're somebody who takes samples and makes incredible music out of these samples. It'd be crazy to think about it in that light when it comes to something that's imitating something. You're not imitating the sample. You're taking it from. You're making something new.
Yeah,
you can't really get that from AI as much as it is just like a repurposed. Like, oh, you want it to look like a Looney Tunes bit.
Yeah, AI is literally. What I think is AI is just a renamed form of data scraping.
Yeah, in some shape or form, it's only repackaging already established information.
Mm-hmm.
And if it is making something new, it's making it new out of parameters.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like, how new, quote unquote, can it be?
How new can it be? How much can you really take before it starts eating itself alive? And we've already seen that with what many people have generated. And how trends can affect like the subset of data that it needs to feed off of in order for it to spew out more shit. Like I remember when people were talking about like image yellowing.
With that filter.
Yeah, because people were generating so much Studio Ghibli stuff during that one trend that we had, the micro trend.
Yep.
And the data just started eating itself, and now like there's just like a permanent yellow varnish over every AI image that's made.
Goes to show, man, it lingers. It's not, it's just repackaging things. But to know that at Deadly Mike, one of my favorite artists, he came back to do the sequel cover with the noodles.
Oh yeah,
that was great. But I mean, what did you like about it? What did you like about the album?
That album was something else production wise. Like going back to Alk's production style in this whole album, comparing it to Alfredo 1.
It's hard.
Alfredo 1 has much more like boom bap kind of sounding. It is still 808s, but it is more like boom bap, smooth
hip hop.
Smooth hip hop. This is definitely taken from Nujabase. Nujabase, lo-fi, trap, hip hop, soul samples, neo soul.
Neo soul
is what I think of, especially when I hear this album, because it's just so. The beats are so methodically like planned out to a degree that it's just like, if I were to have an instrumental of this album, holy shit, I would glaze the shit out of it, dude.
1995 was like that. That was such a great note to start on because it was a smooth Japanese sample, and then it reminded me of like a Yakuza intro. Like Freddie just got out the restaurant eating some noodles, popped up his jacket, he's hanging out with his boys.
The album is like, it's like a noir film.
It is a like Japanese noir film.
Yeah.
Like Old Boy.
Like any.
Hey, shout out. We know that Old Boy is a Korean film, but we're just saying that it's giving off the same element.
Cowboy Bebop is another one too. The Cowboy Bebop movie is very good for establishing that sort of feeling and tone.
Do you remember that intro? The dun 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 dun. That was a great intro song for that movie.
It's just such a like. Such a vibe, dude. Like
dude.
I think of so much early Nujabase sound, very and his very work, surrounding sound. It very makes it sound like hold on, I got a burp. Oh god. Cut that out. Don't cut it out. Keep it in. I just really think of it's a very surrounding feeling. Listening it to in my car, the feeling of like this a feeling of calmness just kind of like overwhelms you throughout this whole album. Like you don't really necessarily feel like you need to be abrasive. And Freddie's vocals contrast like these very
Smoother
smooth
yeah.
beats so well.
And his cadence, a lot of like, what I noticed was the first half for me latched on a lot harder than it did the second half, because the second half was a little bit more sultry. You had Still Love Her, you had
Still Love Her, by the way, I think is a reference to the Teriyaki Boys.
Yes, it is.
It is directly?
Well, I mean, think about it. I mean, there was that. There's Common's I Still Love Her, the HER.
Yeah.
But I think more so Teriyaki Boys.
Yeah.
I think it's a homage to them.
Yeah, that's a great song.
It's
it really was like the branching path between both Teriyaki Boys and Western hip hop. Like Western, I mean like American hip hop.
Yes. Oh, true. There was a lot of that. That was a big, because I mean you had Lupe Fiasco, Pharrell, NERD, the Neptunes,
and then before, but like that was like Nigo and Kanye.
Yes.
Like Nigo and Kanye was like the biggest. Like that was the branch, and then when Kanye branched out, we got the fucking greatest song ever produced for a movie ever, Teriyaki Boys, Teriyaki Drift.
At the
Tokyo Drift.
Oh, really? Is that the one?
Tokyo Drift produced by Pharrell and also the Neptunes.
Really?
Voiced. They
I didn't
rap
know
on
that.
it. You didn't know that the Teriyaki Boys rapped on that?
No.
Yeah, no. They rapped on that song and they fucking made it.
Tokyo got me into DJ Shadow.
Really?
Tokyo Drift got me into DJ Shadow 7 days at the starting of the week.
Oh, that's funny.
That's a great. I mean, I love, shout out DJ Shadow too, another great producer. But like you had songs like Skinny Suge 2, great sequel to Skinny Suge. I love that guitar in Skinny Suge 1. Enchilada with Anderson. That chorus by Anderson .Paak.
Yeah, that was a great album, like midpoint, because it just felt like a checkpoint, and it's just like you got Freddie for so much of it, and it's just everything else is like, oh man, this really like knocks it out of the park. And then Feeling was really great. All of the features on here.
Oh yeah, Cold Feet with
Jid.
With Jid was a great one. Wait, Gold Feet with Jid was a great one. I loved his alliteration.
JID. No one does it better than him.
And that's the thing. That's another great thing I liked is it wasn't heavy on the features.
Yeah.
It was very kind of. It was more so on the solo side.
I loved Lemon Pepper Steppers was one of the better, at least, performances by Freddie in the album.
Yeah.
I think it was just such a well done, like, his flow was so well done, crafted in that.
I want to say Empanadas, that beat switch. Yeah, Empanadas. Because at first, when I'm listening to it, I'm like, oh, it's like a more of like a upbeat song, and then it switches to like a more darker undertone. That's the thing. Like when you're talking about noir, that's exactly the vibe that I get from this album. Like the Skinny Suge is what gave me that noir vibe from Alfredo. I love, dude, that verse that Freddie spits. He said, how can I cope when my uncle died of an overdose? And the fucked up part about that is I know I supplied the man that sold him. Put a pistol to my head. I was way too scared, drunk off emotions. Like, it was dark. It's a dark song.
It's such a,
in the midst of like pretty great like Babies and Fools with Conway in the first album was like, you know what I mean? Like Al was able to give you a bit of everything still in a thematic like focus.
Yeah.
But this one just leans a lot more into the cinematic elements that made Alfredo very interesting. Like even with the short film that they released in conjunction with the album release.
They released a short film?
Yeah.
That's a first.
It's on YouTube.
I actually haven't seen that. Like this is how much I don't like dive into like sub.
Oh, true. Like the add-ons. Like I watch interviews. Like I love watching the interviews of artists or like video essays or shit, even live performances.
I need to start doing that for at least this podcast. I want to be able to have more to discuss beyond just the music itself. But yeah, that's a different plate of cookies or a different glass of milk. I think that. Do you think that this album? I have a theory. Do you think this album's a retirement album?
No, I think like I got to know, like I was introduced to Freddie from a YouTube just recommendation. It was 5 years ago. It was when Piñata came out. Mm-hmm. No, Bandana. It was when Bandana came out, and it was the single Giannis with Anderson .Paak.
Yeah.
and I don't know why this was the first song that I ever heard of Freddie Gibbs, and I was like, what is this? Who is this? And I loved it. And that from Bandana to Alfredo to Soul Separately to the one that he released before this one, that one kind of came and went, unfortunately. So I definitely think there was a lot of good songs in that album. You Only Die Once. That one was a good one, but it kind of made me, that one for me more felt like a retirement album.
Really?
Because it was a mix of a lot of different beats and a lot of different styles, and like, it didn't really follow that same tone that Madlib and Al give them when just doing a solo artist album.
Yeah.
This one kind of feels like there's more room to work with, because initially when I heard Alfredo 2 was announced, I was like, oh brother, because there wasn't, besides Bandana, like he didn't really have any sequel projects besides now with You Only Die Once and with Alfredo 2. I was like, oh, we're doing the I don't want to say the name, because I mean I'm a fan, but I also don't want to. No, I'm gonna say it. Logic.
Yeah, I'll say it for you too. That
Logic thing. Yeah, like re-releasing what, like, dude, I would hate if Alfredo 2 was just a not a cash grab, but like, I hate it whenever an artist has to release a sequel or like a
deluxe version.
Yeah, because it's like, what are we doing at that point? Just make something new. But he and Al show me that if somebody is capable of having such consistency as Freddie, then I shouldn't have to worry that like, oh, a sequel to something is going to be a lesser version of the original. It's like, no,
it still subverted everything that he was doing before.
I was coming in expecting like, no offense, but like the same reaction to You Only Die Once, and dude, the moment I heard 1995,
my goat's back.
Yeah, I was like, we're in.
My goat's back, and back. He just dunks it out of the park with this whole album. It's genuinely the first project that I've listened to front to back from Freddie.
Really?
Because I've actually only listened to a handful of songs off of Alfredo 1 and Big Boss Rabbit.
Oh,
Big Boss Rabbit. It was one of my earliest known songs that I listened to from Freddie. And what's that one song that he has? Oh, Crime Pays. Crime Pays.
Yes, that was a great one from Bandana.
Yeah, that album, those two songs were like the only exposure I had to him from Freddie Gibbs, and then I only knew about him because of the JPEG Mafia beat.
Dude, that's what
during
sucks.
The Vulture sessions. I thought that was so funny, man.
That, and then his beef with Benny.
Benny the Butcher?
Benny the Butcher.
Really?
So, yeah,
he was just on a project with him.
No, he was on a project with him a couple years ago. Yeah, on Alfredo, but now like he beefed him on this album. I mean, he dissed him again on this album, but it was because of a lot of things. But it culminated into him getting jumped in a diner.
Oh damn!
There's a video of it.
Oh, Freddie got jumped?
Freddie got jumped.
Damn, I remember when Freddie got jumped. I remember on, I think his ex-baby mama. Another thing too.
Oh, that whole you know what I'm saying? Like, this man was taking L's.
Yeah, I know, dude. Like, that's another thing too. Like, I just noticed that another reason why I never talked to him was because I was just like, man, this guy's getting into like a shit ton of fights. I saw this guy's bare naked asshole before I listened to fucking Bandana. That's my exposure to him.
Yeah, mine was the inverted. I was a fan, and then people started to turn. Things were starting to be announced. I'm like, damn, man, you never want the person to outshine the music.
Yeah, dude. Like, I'm a fan now after hearing this, and I want to go back into this stuff. But like, damn, like I saw this guy taking L after L after L, and he won that JPEG Mafia beef. Full stop. JPEG was just fucking tweaking.
But that's the thing. Was it really? You know what I mean? Like, I think when it comes to those type of beefs, I never really considered them beefs. Like Benny the Butcher. Butcher, the hell.
Benny the Butcher.
Benny the Butcher. Benny the Butcher. Like, that felt real. Yeah, because, they were throwing shots online, but then when actual blows started being exchanged, then it was like, oh, this is real. Someone can actually get hurt.
Yeah,
you know
like,
what I mean?
That's like, this is like, turns out from a thing. I just remember, he also dissed Ack.
Yes,
he also
he's always been doing that. He doesn't like him. I
Nobody likes fucking Ack.
Nobody
Fuck
likes
Ack.
him.
Let's establish this here on this podcast. Fuck DJ Academics. Fat bastard. Stop ordering Uber Eats to your fucking apartment.
What did Freddie say? He's like grabbing onto Academic's titty, love a thick bitch.
And squeezing X titties, that fat bastard. And then going on, he talks about Gunna. He doesn't fuck with him because he's a rat.
You took a plea, you rat bastard.
Yeah, like, I say what you will about the Thug case. I'm gonna be honest, dude. If I was in Gunna's position, I'd take a plea. I'd take a plea too.
Yeah.
Like,
especially when your career was starting, like he was really taking off.
yeah, frankly, I'm very surprised that he sides with Thug. I don't even think he sides with Thug. I think he just doesn't like that he
Gunna.
snitched him.
Yeah. Oh, are you talking about Gunna or Freddie?
Gunna. I think Freddie doesn't like Gunna just because he just doesn't like him. But
No,
I'm just surprised
he also,
that
he called him out on a song.
Yeah, I just don't understand why they don't like each other, because they could make some boss ass shit.
Principles, inner politics, things that we have no idea on.
Yeah, it's probably it's definitely like hood politics.
Yeah, but what goes to show is to have like, cause bro, like 5 years I was eating 5 years of like, I would put him up there in my list, and I still do. I think there's a beautiful song called Deeper. It's a beautiful storytelling song about him loving this girl, and this girl meets another man who wants to be an astronaut. She's trying to get away from the lifestyle that she once loved.
Yeah.
And he's doing his thing. He's rapping. He's making money. He's having, he's seeing all these women. And then she comes back into his life 5 years later with a baby. And that ends with like, whose baby is it? And it's his. But there's like, Pinata for me is still one of my, if not one of the best albums of the 2010s.
Okay.
You had amazing features from Earl Sweatshirt, Damo Genesis.
He's dropping a new project. Did you see that? Domo's on a new project coming out soon.
I'm happy to see. I'm a big Damo Genesis fan.
Tyler plugged it on his story. I was worried because I thought the lawsuit was about that. People were talking about it was either Cardi,
Frank,
Haji, or Domo.
Damn, I was thinking, no, him and Earl seem to be on good terms, but like I think he has hung out with Earl more than he's hung out with Damo from what I've seen.
Yeah, but at least I was squashed. At least the fact that know that
these are poets, man. Like,
they're cool. All of them were all cool. I love Domo.
Dude, there's this song called Robes off of Pinata. I mean, if you want some real recommendations, you have Shadow of a Doubt, which is a great kind of, I think it's what You Only Die Once wanted to be in the terms of like Sonics. But you have, I'm not going to go in any specific order, but this is this man's like track record, which I love. Shadow of a Doubt, You Only Die Twice, The Miseducation of Freddie Gibbs, one of my favorites, Freddie, which was produced by Kenny Beats.
Yeah.
Fetty, which is a combined project with him, Currency, and Alchemist.
Yeah.
Which is also sucks. I hate to see him and Currency beef as well.
Okay.
Bandana, Pinata. And then you have all the more recent albums of the last couple of years. But, dude, Freddie, it's a great turn-up album. But, like, you have songs like Triple Threat, Diamonds 2. Mm-hmm. Two of my favorites. Also, which is Death Row with 03 Greedo. This was around the time where, like, being a Kenny Beats fan, I was being introduced, like, artists like Key, Greedo, JPEG Mafia, Doja Cat. I mean, back when Doja Cat was, like, I think everyone in middle school when they saw Moo, they're like, who is this?
Yeah, I know. Who is this bad mamma jamma right here?
But dude, I'm talking about like with Pinata, Supplier, Scarface, Deeper, High, Heralds, Bomb, Shitsville, Thuggin', Real, Uno, Robes, Broken. These are all back-to-back bangers. Knicks. And you have like, bro, check out these features. You have Denny Brown, Absol, Earl Sweatshirt, BJ, the Chicago Kid. You even have like features that aren't even recognized. Like you have Michi Darko from Flatbush Zombies.
Yeah.
You have Mac Miller. Like, dude, I'm talking about this era was like peak in my mind. So many great artists at that time.
I could agree with that. Definitely, like, for sure. The artist window is definitely fractured. And it definitely does suck that people are like beefing with each other and not making as much music or like just living their lives. But it doesn't take away from the fact that you can always just reminisce.
Yeah.
People don't have to. That's the thing about like, that's one thing that I could definitely respect about people, at least artists nowadays, is that artists who are truly into the business of making art, and not even the business, just like the morals of making art. They know when to quit. They know when to stop. They know when to say, I am in a place where I don't need this medium to express myself anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't need to make money by selling my soul or like committing to like a project that I don't really want to do.
Yeah.
And I will not do Fuck you. I will not do your feature. I will not rap this verse for you.
I don't need it.
I don't need it.
Yeah, Jay-Z's kind of like the personification of that. Of like, he don't release no albums no more, but he's still within hip hop.
Yeah,
which is a good sign to have because it establishes you in the goats. You know, at a certain point, Michael Jordan isn't going to back on the court to show everyone that he's Michael Jordan. He's already Michael Jordan.
Yeah, he's Jordan. He's like the guy.
So it's like it makes sense when you know when to stop, especially because, you know, maybe before the reason why you started rapping or the reason why you became such a big artist was that business side. And once you maximized this one avenue, now you migrate onto this other thing. Some people forget that when you're a rapper, some rappers are just businessmen. Yeah. They know what the people want. They're entertainers. Other people are poets. You know, you have people who like Mike, Earl, Medahane, Wiki, like people who are really in the underground scene who like bleed this shit.
And we could even see like legacy acts too. Like my mom recently went to go see DJ Quick.
Oh, nice.
DJ Quick was, you know, he's in and itself just a master of the craft.
Yeah.
And understanding that, you know, like the fact that he's still making music today, or not making music, but the fact that he's still performing today.
Yeah.
You know, everyone always likes to complain about legacy acts being like, oh, they're on their last legs, like especially with like rock stars.
They have to work.
Like, why are they working this much? People don't seem to understand that sometimes people just do it for the love of the game.
Yeah, what else would I be doing?
Yeah, Wu-Tang Clan still fucking performing with artists nowadays is not because they have to, because they want to get with the times. No, they're the fucking Wu-Tang Clan. They want to do that shit.
No, yeah, real talk. Which is, it goes to show, like our last episode, which is which I think one of the focal points was Victory Lap albums. This feels like a Victory Lap album.
It does. It really does.
Yeah, like this for me solidifies like I know with these last two, Soul Separately and You Only Die Once, they didn't get as much praise as Alfredo and previous works before that. But dude, who else has had this consistency? Like, it's really hard to have this consistency. I can only name a handful of artists in their last like 4 albums that have delivered in what they're doing. Denzel, Peggy, Freddie now. I mean, but you know. Who else? Tyler.
Freddie was just a victim of circumstance.
Yeah, I think that he had to come back.
The streets just weren't feeling it.
Yeah,
right
they
now.
weren't feeling him.
The streets just weren't feeling him. I feel like they would feel, from the way you're describing them, I feel like they'd feel these projects now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Compared to before.
Dude, there's so many great songs. Space Rabbit is one of my favorites off of Soul Separately, just because of that beat. But needless to say, going back to the whole Victory Lap thing, to see these artists who I've spent like the last half of a decade admiring and listening to,
yeah,
and to see what they've been coming out with, and it doesn't feel like you know how sometimes when somebody releases something that you love, like let's say you love a certain movie star and they release a shitty movie because they need to, it's like, oh, why are you doing that?
Oh yeah, why? You don't need to be in there,
dude. You don't need
to
to be doing that. Like I hate for that to be the case with these people who solidified themselves in the Hall of Fame of rap. Because then it's almost like with hip hop, it's a cultural. You know what it is? I really like to. This is kind of weird to say, but like it's the closest I can imagine to an ethno genre.
Ethno genre? Elaborate.
So, you know how when you're a kid, you kind of go off of what you listen to from your parents or from your surroundings.
Yeah.
And depending on the times, it's very circumstantial.
Yeah.
Whether it's rock in the 60s to 90s. Mm-hmm. Or jazz, R&B. Hip-hop always stayed in this spot of being cultivated in a cultural foundation that people tend to rely on a lot more, where either varying by region, which type of hip-hop you make and or listen to, or is popular in your geography.
Yeah.
Geographical area, I guess. Like, you are... Depending on on how you're brought up, you're kind of born into it. You're born into hip hop. Like my brothers, from the time I can understand anything, like I was listening to Ice Cube, Lil Wayne, Drake, The Game, Kanye, but not like Kanye on an avid point. Like, I didn't know who he was, but I remember listening to Flashing Lights as a kid and being like, what is this? This is sick.
Yeah.
Also Stronger. You had people like Usher coming in and working with hip-hop artists. You had people like Bieber working with Jaden Smith. And being a kid who loved the Karate Kid, that was my shit.
Just connecting all these branching paths of different genres. You know, you got pop
was in my life.
Pop rap, pop R&B, going into R&B rap.
California Girls featuring Snoop Dogg. That was our introduction to Snoop Dogg.
E.T. featuring Kanye West. I will say, trumps that song.
Oh yeah,
California Girls is an outstanding song. E.T. for me, that was my jam, and my mom loved that song too. So maybe I'm a victim of bias and confirmation bias, especially.
Good music is good music.
But damn, that album is so good.
Yeah,
I mean that specific single is just so good.
If I'm correct, I think I was just recently listening to E.T. Extraterrestrial. Dude, I'm extraterrestrial. Yeah, dude, that chorus was so good.
And then Kanye's verse in that is silly, but it just works so well. I think it's just so like of the time.
And it makes sense because he came out with Yeezus.
Really? During that period?
2010s.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's like one of the albums that I think about where it's just like
it makes sense given the time. Black Eyed Peas.
Black Eyed
Kesha.
Peas. Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, what that sci-fi techno, era. I live for that. It's it hits such a warm spot because it embraces the advancement in technology. Like, oh wow, we have auto-tune now. We have quantization. We can really make things that we couldn't have made before.
Yeah.
Meaning, I think it's an ethno genre. Not to say it's specific to any specific ethnicity. What I mean is it follows under that principle of you're being born into something. You are, like, if you're born into New York, you know hip-hop. You're born into California, you love West Coast hip-hop.
Yeah.
You're born into Texas, hey, you love Southern, but at the same time, you have people like Mexican OT. Oh, no, you know what? I'm going to swap it out. Atlanta is like, you know what I mean? You have like figures that came from parts of like of a place that a lot of people like. Georgia's
really like
it's diverse in its ways.
Georgia, I feel like, is like the Italy of rap in terms of like its experimentation its like understanding of just not only its collection of artists and their background, but also the way they understood rap as a art form. We have Andre and Outkast with Big Boy 2. We have, if we want to go recent, Playboi Carti. Like, a lot of people seem to forget that Playboi Carti was out of Atlanta.
Yeah, JID is out of Atlanta.
JID, and I think Earth Gang, are they not?
Earth Gang's out of Atlanta.
Yeah.
Shout out Kenny Mason. Kenny Mason is one of my favorite rappers who's out of Atlanta as well. Dude, he's a rock artist. Like, he incorporates rock in his raps, but it doesn't, like, it's not like this. Like, I hate saying emo because it gives off that like I'm sad, depressed music, but like it doesn't overshadow his rapping capabilities. This man has some of the best verses that I've heard in like the last 5 years, and he works with people like JID. He works more closely with Dreamville, but there's so many great songs in how he uses samples that you wouldn't expect someone like him to sound from Atlanta, other than his accent.
Is J. Cole from Atlanta?
J. Cole is from 2014 Forest Hill Drive, Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the lower East Coast area, like before we get to Florida and then into the actual South, is something that is definitely overlooked. But we got Virginia, we got North Dakota, South Dakota. Like, there's art still coming out of those places too.
Oh yeah, and I'm glad to see other places, because that was something, being from Vegas, that was always like a point of contention in my mind, because we're such a well-known spot but doesn't have any big artists. I mean, shout out Dizzy Wright. He was always like somebody who I looked at with admiration because he came from where we come from. Like, he has a song called East Side that's dropping places that I am from and I live at. I mean, it's like, you feel recognized as a, like, this is the type of shit that I wish we had by living in like Chicago, New York, Atlanta.
And I feel like Vegas is like the prime candidate for something like a very big hip hop scene, because it's just like, did you know that Ken Carson actually
Oh yeah,
grew
also
up here?
like Baby Keem. I
Baby
thought
Keem grew up here, and Ken Carson grew up here, but they're not.
but they don't claim it.
They don't
Kuko
claim
is.
it.
I think I just recently found out Kuko is from Vegas.
Kuko?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
He
crazy.
shouts him out. He shouts 702, I think.
He's in the Killers. If we want to go into other alternative artists, we got the Killers and Panic at the Disco.
Oh yeah. I mean, we can talk about our phases in another episode. That'd be a good episode topic to talk about. Like,
yeah.
Because what I noticed with these two episodes is like we have the same passion for things, but I think it just depends on what era you found it in.
Yeah.
Because like, bro, I've had like I can name them off in sequence about like the phases I've been through to get to where I'm at now. But like, I think the beauty of having phases is you gain and like you take a little bit of everything with you, whether it's a certain taste that you liked from a certain time that you still like, oh wow, when I was younger I was really big into Panic at the Disco, that's why I like these melodies a lot more, as somebody who would only have grown up listening to rap or rock. There's you take a little bit of everything that you've gone through to establish the taste that you have now.
Panic at the Disco is really like the first concert I felt like I went to and was like fully conscious and aware that it was a concert and I was experiencing music live.
I would have killed to go to Panic at the Disco, man.
I was actually there during their Head in the or what was it, King of the Clouds tour?
Really?
Yeah, that's when he first dropped that album there. And it was not only just like the King of the Clouds album, but it was also just like
the classics and shit.
Everything that he was having as his classics, and it was such a well done set.
Yeah,
it was an amazing set. I really loved it.
Well, what would you call that type of? Because I know then like Panic at the Disco, My Chemical Romance, Fall Out Boy, 21 Pilots. I think we all as kids kind of go through that phase where we love.
It's just alternative.
Yeah, alternative.
It really is just alternative rock.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Like that's a.
Heavy Dirty Soul from 21 Pilots, bro, was my soundtrack.
That white boy can rap.
He can, man.
That white boy can rap. Nobody gives, like, everyone gives their credit to certain white rappers, but nobody ever talks about just the kind of bars that guy be spitting sometimes on
it was
on
Josh
tracks.
Dunn and Tyler. Was it Tyler?
I think his name is Tyler the singer?
Yeah, I want to say Josh Dunn is the
drummer. Is his brother? Isn't Tyler Dunn and Josh Dunn, because they're brothers, aren't they?
Oh, I think so.
Just Tyler Dunn and Josh Dunn. But Tyler, he just spits. He spits some nasty bars, especially on Blurry Face. Blurry Face.
That was a great album, man.
That's an outstanding album.
Tearing My Heart was a great like melancholy ballad.
Tearing My Heart, A Heavy Dirty Soul. Message Man. Oh, dude. That's a great one. And then if we're going even further, we got Vessel. Vessel especially does album. Show his rhyming skill very well. And then he definitely does lean more melodically in Trench, but there's still those senses that he has, like his very strong poetic skill.
My Blood, I think, was a great one that kind of shows that like, his songwriting ability with a great, that bass line, the doom, 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 doom.
I love Chlorine. That Trench is just my favorite album from them. Vessel is a close second, and then Blurry Face. But those three, but like the beginning track, we got Jumpsuit, Nico and the Niners, Bandito, Smithereens. That's just a godsend of a run for songs off an album.
If you can hit a 4-peat back to back, that's a very impressive thing for an album. There's a lot of times where we look at projects coming out and we take bits and pieces. I can definitely say that these victory lap albums have been enjoyable, and you can take your song selection from them, but very few people can make a project from start to finish that you can listen to. Like damn near you can listen to that as if it was in its own,
We are in definitely the victory lap era. We got Alfredo 2, Don't Tap the Glass, GNX, which we still haven't talked about, we gotta definitely talk about GNX.
Yeah, that was like the start of all this.
Yeah,
really.
GNX was definitely like the celebration run. Just the gun firing, and then everyone did the mad dash to giving it your all, you know?
Let God sort them out kind of was like the...
Let God sort them out.
It was like the established, like, okay, yeah, we're now coming back and showing you guys why we are who we are.
Yeah, like like the celebration is there. Now it's back to the hunger. Back to the hunger of being at the top, you know?
Yeah.
And like I think that we're in a very good time, at least for hip hop in general.
Yeah, I mean, and even going back to, you know, the whole movie section we were talking about, like, whether it's movies or music, it's a great time to be a fan. It's a great time to expand your taste, nonetheless. You know, we are at a point where there's not really a... How do I say this? Like, it's not overshadowed by anything else.
Yeah, and people feel like it's too late. They're like, oh, I got so much of a backlog to be able to get through. Like, I have a backlog, dude. I have a backlog of video games. I have a backlog of music. I have a backlog of movies. Those three mediums, like, you could probably be sitting here endlessly just on your butt. Fucking warts growing around your asshole.
Yeah, just wanting to catch up with
just
everything.
Wanting to catch up. But, you know, if you feel like you're burned out from your backlog, go watch the new stuff. Never feel like you're truly... Don't feel like you're truly done with, like, any of that, because... But not in the degree where it's, like, anxiety-inducing, like, I have to get to this. Like, enjoy the art for what it is, and keep enjoying it. It's not like the
like
cynical...
if you miss it, if you're not gonna listen to it now, you're gonna miss out on it.
Yeah, the cynical take is like, you know, keep consuming and stuff like that. But I would like to disagree, because people heavily like to induce the fact that consuming media to a larger degree than just beyond the casual is a bad thing. But, you know, understanding media and what you enjoy and also expanding your taste, that in itself is an activity that is very fruitful, because you expose yourself to more
things
diverse,
that you wouldn't have
diverse
expected. Opinions.
And that's what we need more than ever.
Absolutely. Things to keep an eye on, things that aren't necessarily in your field of vision, whether it is an artist or a director, like, you know, definitely
music.
Yeah, check out
just sounds that you feel alien to you, you know.
Take the time to watch something. You know what we could do at the end of these episodes? We can do like a suggestion. Ooh, we can do a suggestion. What is going on right now? What is something that you want people to be aware of? Whether it's like a fashion brand, music artist, or movie, something that you peep that you want other people to check out.
Damn. Okay. Well, I think that for me, you definitely should check out the new Panty and Stocking and Garter Belt season.
Came out?
It did came out. It came out like about a few weeks ago.
Dude, Gynax for the win. Wait, who's
Trigger?
Trigger?
Trigger bought the rights from Gynax.
Let's go,
and
man.
finally animated a new season.
Thank God, dude. I've been waiting for a new Penny and Stocking for years.
Yeah, dude. Watch that. That is an absolute #1 must-have. But also watch the first season. This first season is amazing. Watch the dub. Watch the sub.
The dub is better. I think
the dub is better for the comedy. It's a little dated, but
it's like ghost stories. You know what I mean? You're watching it, not taking it seriously because of how they're talking. It's not even
ghost stories. I think that quality of dub writing in and itself is intentionally funny.
True.
Because like Ghost Stories was unintentionally funny because it was taking a serious, dramatic
anime
with like very basic like themes, and then giving it amplification because of the shitty writing.
You can say, yeah, exactly. It was like a parody of it.
Yeah, it's like a YouTube poop. This is like comedic and tonally crafted
to match it,
to be funny because of the fact that the show is funny. And then this new season, I mean, even I haven't watched it yet because I want to go back to the first season and rewatch it to get to this point. But I've just been hearing that it's peak.
It's peak. It matches the energy.
And Wonderfully World Weird of Gumball just dropped on Hulu.
I need to come back to that. I need to check it out.
Wonderfully Weird World of Gumball.
It's been 5 years.
I watched the first episode yesterday. That was while I do feel like the taste of the beginning is very much contemporary, like it didn't take me by surprise that they immediately started referencing contemporary issues and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's still Gumball, and it still is like they never left. It's still such a funny show. I watch it with my mom, and she laughs.
It's a clever show for what it like for the age demographic. Mm-hmm. I probably should check up on that.
It definitely seems more mature in its writing, at least for the fact of the matter is that like
it no longer is under Cartoon Network's.
Yeah, under Cartoon Network's eye to be like fully.
I think they could sneak in a little like back then they were dropping jokes that you would be like, how was this able to be aired? But
yeah, they were limited by the Y7 rating, but here they're more free to get past the like very strict censors of network television, and they have more creative vision to be able to expand on their much more mature writing. Right,
which hopefully doesn't downgrade the cleverness that they had to use earlier, like in previous seasons because of those restrictions. Because when somebody tells you can't make a direct like joke on something, now you have to be smart and think around it.
Yeah, I saw that. There's a couple of jokes where I felt like they were a little too on the nose, at least for this first episode. But in general, the whole episode was an allegory for a really funny message.
Ooh, I'm excited to see it.
And I don't want to spoil it because the whole joke the payoff is great.
Hell yeah. I was thinking about watching that or something else on Netflix called K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yes.
I need to check it out.
Something a little light, something a little, not too much discussion on this little niche movie. I've seen a lot of discussion on it. That's why I'm saying.
K-pop Demon Hunters or Gumball?
Oh, Demon Hunters.
I'm
K-pop
excited.
Demon Hunters has been like the talk of the town on my Instagram for like the past like 3 weeks, dude.
I haven't seen anything, man, so I'm excited. I've only saw that meme of both K-pop bands like bending down and going lower and lower to like saying hi to one another.
I just know the one where she's smelling the very long sushi, the little long sushi roll, and she's just like in the face.
I need that. I need something, after watching Together, I need to watch something to kind of,
palate cleanser.
Palate cleanser, exactly.
Yeah. And then for you, man, what do you recommend our viewers watch this week? Consume, eat.
Besides Together, that's a great date night movie. If your girl has a twisted sense of humor and can appreciate good practical effects and gore, I think you guys are gonna have a great time. Also, just get out the house, watch something different than Material. What was it, Materialist with Dakota Johnson? This is what we want. This is the real date night movie. But I would say check out, man, now that I'm put on the spot, I don't know. What have I recently watched? I love it because throughout the entire episode I was giving out recommendations, but
yeah, I know you burned yourself out.
Okay, I'll keep it in the same aspect of animated. If you are a fan of Predator, Hulu released a animated anthology movie called Predator. What was it?
I just know Predator Hunting Grounds that shut down 4v4 multiplayer game.
Predator.
I know what you're talking about though, but I didn't even know that released.
Predator Killer of Killers.
That released?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing the trailers for it, and I was like, damn, I gotta see that. And then
great animation, great storylines, building on the great run that these directors have had from Prey to now the new Predator movie coming out. I think Predator not Bloodlines, but we've been eating very well as sci-fi fans. If you like that, give it a check. But if not, something else that I watched that I think a lot of people should show more appreciation on is if you like comedy, the series Adults on Hulu as well. It's really refreshing, a refreshing take on I guess a Gen Z sitcom.
Yeah,
roommates living together, the situations that they get thrown into, and it has jokes that are Gen Z related, but it doesn't feel too on the nose where you're like, oh brother, even
you
the
roll
things
your eyes at some stuff.
Like you can honestly be like, oh yeah, I'd probably do something like that, or you can laugh at the absurdity in certain instances. But those two things, if you like sci-fi or if you like just like a background noise sitcom, those two can help just pass the day if you just want something in the background.
Yeah, well, that's a great recommendation. And of course, listen to Alfredo 2 by Freddie Gibbs and The Alchemist. Um, we got a lot more to talk about. This is definitely a great second episode and a great place to end off on. So
It is.
if you guys enjoyed this episode, thank you for coming and sticking around.
We hope to see you again soon for the next episode.
Yeah, this has been the Media Minute with the Mateos. This is we're like fucking late in the recording hours right now.
What time is it? It's almost about to be 1.
It's 1 minute till 1, so just stretching it out as long as we can. But we appreciate you guys for coming in, playing the cards right. I hope this sticks around and
Getting better every episode, hopefully.
yeah, we're getting better, and we hope to see you in the next episode
All
with
right, everybody.
more media.
Have a good night. Ciao.
Good night, guys.